My ex-girlfriend claims I abused her. The title says it all. I dated a girl for 6 months and things were great, but there were a few things about her that bothered me which ultimately resulted in me breaking up with her. They were very simple things like her not letting me see my friends, her trying to get me to quit my job, or her failed attempts at persuading me to switch my degree program to something easier so she could see me more. The clinginess really turned up to 100% toward the end of our relationship and I had to call it quits. I told her that I needed to focus more on myself because these years of mine are very critical for my future and perhaps we can try again later in life. Throughout our entire relationship I was very passive, actually. She steered the ship entirely, made all the decisions. She chose where we went out to eat, whose house we were at that day, down to the clothes I would wear and the songs we would listen to. This never sat right with me. I always knew the relationship would end badly. She forced herself into my family way too early. Her reasoning behind it was she needed a good family life because hers was not too great. She has experience with abuse from her mother. Anyway, she would text my parents and sister regularly, constantly asking them to go out for dinner and whatnot. I did not like this because 6 months is not a long enough time period to begin hanging out with my family separately from me. Thankfully my family had seen through this and felt just as uncomfortable as I did. I confronted her about it and her response was along the lines of, "Don't you want to get married someday? How else are we supposed to get to that point if I don't become friends with your family?" I had never stated I wanted to marry her or ever expressed feelings of a long-term relationship with her. In fact, I had informed her that I simply do not speculate to that degree with anything, especially relationships. Needless to say, she took this as me leading her on. Often, she would tell me how much I cannot do things. How much I cannot afford my car, cannot afford school, or how much she thinks that I won't be happy in the future with the path I am taking. Unfortunately for her, she never knew my income, never knew the details of my education, or really had any clue what my true future plans are. These are things I keep fairly private to myself. I once told her that I wanted to move out of state. Her response to that was extremely negative and, quite frankly, hurtful. This is why I do not tell people things like that, not even my own girlfriend. Upon ending our relationship, I just did it over text. I am not one to reason with people in situations like this and I am very much a pushover at the sight of tears. However, I was far more afraid of the physical response. She had never hit me before but I have seen the way she explodes when she gets emotional. Perhaps I just did not want to deal with the situation on a face-to-face level. Instantly, she began to tell me I abused her and never listened to her. She explained that, basically, by not doing everything she requested of me, dropping classes, quitting my job, selling my car, that I was insensitive to her beliefs and was going rogue. Apparently, this constitutes throwing around the term abuse. But to me, this devalues that term entirely. There are women and men who go through so much trauma with their significant others. So much pain and suffering, unimaginable pain and suffering. Why would she ever say this? Immaturity? My fear is that she will go around telling people that I abused her from now on. Things circulate rapidly in my college town. Each and every day we, thankfully, take abuse more and more seriously, as we must do, and it significantly destroys the abuser's life. As it should, but what if she continues to tell people that I was an abuser? What if school hears about this? What if my job does? What would the police have to say about it in the event her words make their way to them? I do not want to have my life completely derailed over a false claim. I also do not like that term being devalued. My best friend has already told me she sent him a large text containing a narrative on me, abusing her. He just blocked her phone number and went straight to me. This is unfair to me because if anything, I was mentally abused for months and I never had my chance to confront her about it. I took one for her by just breaking up with her and this is how she repays me. I have kept my mouth shut in regards to her because I do not talk about exes negatively. What should I do? Just remain calm and hope for the best? Odds are nothing bad will come from it but more needs to be said on the topic of false accusations. TL Dr. X says I abused her when I did not and there is no evidence of this. Her reasoning was, me not listening to her, will this destroy my life? Friends and family are already aware of this and simply do not believe it. I am afraid that a false accusation could potentially ruin my life if she starts a wildfire amongst her friends and it circulates to school, work, law enforcement. Thank you all. Was her claims of abuse via text? If so, don't delete it. Basically the way you worded it almost sounds like an admission of guilt. You abused me by not doing everything I told you to do and you went rogue. That's not abuse. If it's not via text, there are two options you can take that I see. 1. Do nothing. Your character can leave it up for others' judgment call. If they want to distance themselves from you when you give your defense, then so be it. Second thing you can do, try to get ahead of it. Can you contact someone that works at the school about the situation? Explain to them that she's attempting to weaponize the abuse, simply because you chose to break up with her. Just block her on everything and ignore her. You can't control what she does, and if she wants to waste her life trying to control people, that's on her. If she has any friends or family, maybe reach out to them and make them aware that she is being like this, but that you've cut off contact. Most likely, anyone in her life knows the way that she is. Especially share this post. That's pretty much all you can do. Sorry you're dealing with this. Let your friends, family know what happened and try and put it behind you. Oh, and take screenshots of her explanation of how you abused her. That's just standing up for your own personal beliefs. The police don't bother with accusations of emotional abuse, especially between two adults. You have nothing to, legally, worry about. And women are rarely believed when real abuse happens, so I doubt your reputation is in danger, either. You could speak out to your friends and family about the actual emotional manipulation and control issues you experienced on her end. Equipped with the truth, they'll be able to sort it out themselves. It seems like a very difficult position and I'm sorry you're in it. You should consider being as communicative as possible to your friends and family and explain that you trust them with this information. In regards to your ex, perhaps try to do the same. Good luck to you. You need to explain what actually happened to the people that she's contacting. Unfortunately, some people may not believe you, but it's important that you at least try to explain yourself. Seek legal advice. Her false accusations could destroy your life and you need to ensure that you're a few steps ahead of her. A lawyer will explain what options you have in your jurisdiction. This woman sounds horrible. People who make false accusations of domestic abuse are why those who are genuinely being abused are sometimes ignored by their family, friends and the authorities. She isn't just immature, she's trying to wreck your life. She's the abusive one. She tried to isolate you from your friends, triangulate herself with you and your family members, take away your source of income, take away your transportation, take away your education. Basically she did everything in her power to attempt to make you helpless, so that you would need her. It didn't work, so now she's calling you abusive. The best thing you can do is go no contact. That way she can't twist anything you say to be abusive. Now that you have dumped her, she's desperate, so she probably will antagonize you as much as possible to get you to say something that she can use against you. Do not fall for it. I wouldn't worry about it at all. Emotional abuse is generally not illegal, you're not at legal risk. Your friends and family don't believe her. You might actually go to the school and file harassment claims if you're both students. F30. Don't know how to get over the rage I feel at my ex's attitude, M30, to cheating on me. My ex and I broke up 3/4 of a week ago. We were together for 6.5 years. He was introverted, deep and interesting and I loved him from the day I met him. Anyway, things have been shaky for about a year. We had been happy for a long time and had years of happy memories and holidays. But my mother passed away last year and he just didn't know how to, or maybe just didn't want to, support me. That put a lot of strain on things. We stopped doing things together, the pandemic didn't help. He went from strength to strength in his hobbies, mostly hiking, and I fell into a bit of a depression, put weight on, all of that. Maybe he thought I was a bit of a downer now. None of this really matters, I guess, just trying to flesh it out a little. Never in a million years did I think he was a cheater. I've always quite openly said I don't understand cheating and he agreed. If you don't want to be with someone, just don't be. Even though I wasn't always able to join him on some of the things he liked to do. I didn't like some of the scarier hikes, I always supported him. Earlier this year he left his job so he could take a hiatus and do some bigger and longer hikes. I supported him 100%. He hated that job and he could afford it for a few months, so why not? He went hiking alone for a month and as much as I missed him I wanted to support him and his goals. Last month I saw a Facebook post asking volunteers to join a charity climb for the mountain rescue organization that helped him when he had an accident. I encouraged him to go on it and got our friends and family to donate. He used that opportunity to meet someone new on that walk. Someone who enjoys his hobbies and gets him. He and his new girl are posting pictures all over social media of them having the time of their lives. It's been a matter of weeks. She is going out of her way to be particularly sarcastic and bitchy. Fortunately, I'm not seeing anything because I deleted everything, but I'm still finding out because we share a lot of friends and family and they're all disgusted with him, but he simply doesn't care. Now I can get on board with him not wanting to be in a relationship with me anymore. What can I do about that? I can even swallow him meeting someone else, these things happen. But what I cannot wrap my head around is why they seem to be going out of their way to be cruel. I have tried to treat the situation with dignity and respect. I haven't contacted him unnecessarily. There have been certain things to sort out, moving out, bills etc. And I have tried to reason with upset friends and family not to kick off. Yes, sure, we've had strong words but no screaming, slanging matches. A few days ago I found out some things she'd be saying about me and I hit the roof. Not to her but to him. This girl is irrelevant in my life. She is nothing to me, I should be nothing to her. He cheated on me, she owed me no loyalty. Why is she provoking this situation? I am trying to quietly and respectfully move on and keep a shred of dignity after being humiliated, but I honestly don't know how long I can keep a lid on this rage that is building inside me. I don't even know if anyone will read or comment on this, but if anyone has been in a similar situation or has any anger management tips, please share. I don't want to lose it and play into her hands. I think you should cut off all contact with him, and any contact between you two should be done through a trusted friend. As for the girl, she is probably insecure because she was the other woman, and is going out of her way to bother you due to her feeling worthless and untrustworthy of your ex, seeing as he cheated on you with her, so who's to stop him? You should tell everyone to not update you on him or show you things concerning him, and try your best to filter your social media until you're in a better place mentally. Right now they're gloating because they think they won. But the fact that you haven't risen to their actions means their victory is hollow. They want to see you angry, it'll make them feel right. Keep showing that you're unbothered. You took out the trash. Your life is better now that you're not stuck in a loveless relationship. I know it's hard, but get your family and friends to be around you. Post your own pictures. Live your life and don't engage with them. Tell your family and friends you don't want to know about these people. Don't have much advice, but I just wanted to offer my condolences. My mom passed last year either, and it was and is a very hard thing to deal with. I would bet she's insecure and is trying to get a rise out of you to prove to her new boyfriend that she's better for him than you were. Look at crazy ex-girlfriend, she's trying to get you back, op. I'm so sorry going this. His complete lack of respect to you is heartbreaking considering you were together so long. It sounds like you were an amazing GF. I agree you should completely cut off contact with both of them and try to avoid people that are on good terms with them. Then go on holiday yourself, use some savings and go somewhere amazing. Go traveling for a bit and see the world. When you come back, get a new look and a new hobby. Concentrate on yourself, and make sure you post all adventures online for everyone to see. Good luck with new amazing life. Hey op, I experienced this once. People do this because they are simply insecure. Once you get out of a long-term relationship and everyone clearly picks the right side, the exes tend to form this sort of rebellious, I don't care, attitude. It's because they know they now have lost so much, they have to make it seem like they are happy and made the right decision. But no worries, once that other shoe drops, he will be back, and I pray you slam the door in his face. Not been in a similar situation, so can't help, but just wanted to applaud you for your approach in this. You are approaching this rationally and reasonably, and I'm sorry they couldn't give you the same courtesy. I would be furious too. Please know that your feelings are valid and you are 100% entitled to your rage. That said, keep doing what you are doing and stay disengaged. I agree with another poster, ask everyone to stop giving you updates. As you said, she's nothing to you. Based on her behavior, she's a petty, small person. Also remember, he's a cheater. Odds are he will cheat on her eventually. They deserve each other, and more importantly, you deserve better. The rage will dissolve faster if you can stay focused on yourself and keep those toxic fools out of your life. All your mutual friends are likely thinking, wow, he cheated on her while she was grieving her mother, and now they're playing oversharing teenagers on social media. This is disgusting. My mom thinks my dad's family is trying to kill me. This just happened a few minutes ago and I still can't comprehend what just happened. My hand recently began to swell up a bit for a couple of days now, and my cousins have been here for a while. So when my aunt came to give my cousin some clothes, she noticed my hand and bombarded me with questions like when it started and so on, and after that she told me she would come back the next day to check out my hand. After she left, my mom, 39F, came and began to scold me, asking why I didn't tell her about my hand, since now she thinks my aunt is talking about her being irresponsible with kids. But I did tell her multiple times. I tried explaining to my mom, but she didn't budge, and after she went on a rant talking about how my dad's side of the family hates her and my siblings because we are her children and how I shouldn't trust them, and soon after she left my room. Yesterday my aunt came with the medicines, which was some allergy pills, and to quickly note she's a nurse and my dad's a doctor. She told me to strictly have 2 every 4 hours and to rub some cream to reduce the itchiness. So I did exactly that and my hand stopped swelling. After that she came in my room to talk to me privately. Once she sat on my bed, she gave me an emotional talk about how I was her deceased sister's favorite and how she thinks she was reincarnated into me since we are so similar. I grew up very close to her and therefore started doing things she liked, which was art. But she sadly passed away at the age of 29 a few years ago. She even started crying and I needed to comfort her, and after that she hugged me and left. Now today my mom came into my room to talk about how my aunt is trying to make me depressed and to kill myself by giving the pills because she said I'm only supposed to have 1 and not 2. Both my aunt and dad, who to say again are nurse and doctor, said I am supposed to have 2 to help the swelling. She then said that because I'm going to boarding school that my dad's family have an issue with that and apparently want to hurt me, and she's even going as far as saying that she can't even trust my cousins, thinking they will hurt my 2M brother who can already run and walk. She came back to saying it's because they hate her and that I shouldn't trust them. Now I don't know how to feel because what must I do? Reddit. Edit. I am 12 with 4 siblings that are 9, 4 and 2 with my cousins being 12 and 8. And my mom is convinced she doesn't need to go to a psychologist despite the fact that the hospital has recommended it to her for her paranoia. And I'm starting grade 8 next year at a boarding school that's 6 hours away because I want to get away from my mom before things get out of control. Update. This happened 1 hour after I originally made this post, so I decided to talk to my cousins about breakfast, and suddenly my dad's aunts and uncles decided to come for a little visit, so I thought since they'll be downstairs I can go take a shower. So 10 minutes in my shower and my mom opens the shower door and closes the water to tell me that I should lock myself in the bathroom until dad's aunt and uncles decide to leave. But here's a problem: whenever they visit it takes 1-2 hours for them to leave, and I'm not in the mood to stay in a bathroom for that long. Help. If you're having an allergic reaction, it's not abnormal to take a higher dose of an antihistamine while you have symptoms. That will not kill you. Tell your dad that your mom is acting this way. It's scary. Your aunt is a bit crazy. But your mother is insane, with paranoia or some other mental health issues. Talk to your father about this. I wonder if your father knows. I wonder if this is why he's sending you to safety at a boarding school. Good luck. You need to tell your father and aunt right now what your mother are doing and saying. Your mother needs help and you and your siblings are not safe. If you or someone you know is contemplating suicide, please reach out. You can find help at a national suicide prevention lifeline. USA. 18,002,738,255 U.S. Crisis Text Line. 741,741 Text Home. United Kingdom. 116,123. Trans Lifeline. 877-565-8860. Others. How is your relationship with dad? If it's any good, talk to him when no one else is around. Tell him what you told us, let him know how it makes you feel. Good luck to you. Your mom needs some mental help yesterday. Tell your dad to admit her to a psych unit. Please don't believe anything your mother says, as she has paranoia. You are good to realize you need to get out. Where is your father in all this? There's something wrong with your mother. Not you, not your aunt, not your father. Your mother is having issues. My 25 F older sister, 30 F, molested me when I was younger and is denying it. When I was between the ages of 4-6, my older sister, who was 9-11, at the time molested me. It's pretty vague memories, but I do remember her asking me if I wanted my clothes off or on, and then she would get on the bed and I would get on top and basically lay there while she would jump, grind against me. This happened over the course of 2 years multiple times, frequently. She used to tell me not to tell my mom and that it was our secret. I remember I actually liked it, like I remember leaving notes under her door asking if we could do it. I think that's a huge reason why I never told anyone I felt so disgusting and ashamed. I remember one last time she asked me when I was about 8, and I just told her no, that I was never going to do that again and that it was wrong. That's the last memory I have of it. We have never talked about it. I honestly thought I was going to the grave with this huge secret. But then 2 years ago, I went to visit my younger sister. She's about 2 years younger than me, she's addicted to heroin, homeless. Well, when I saw her, she confided in me that something happened to her when she was young. She told me that our older sister made her do things to her for years up until she was about 7, which would have made my older sister about 15. I went through kind of a crisis after she told me that. For so long I had convinced myself I imagined things, but now it was like I have this confirmation that it really did happen. I told my ex and therapist and eventually my mom. It felt really good to talk about it finally. I had issues growing up with my sexuality. I questioned if I was a lesbian. I thought I was being punished because I grew pubic hair at a young age. I thought it was because I experienced sexual things at a young age and everyone would know. I lost my innocence. The issue now is that I've been planning on talking to my older sister about this for a while. But my younger sister randomly the other day posted on Facebook saying my older sister was a child molester. This caused my mom to delete the message, and then by that time my older sister had seen it. My older sister and I had a P-Joan conversation and she basically is denying everything. She's saying she doesn't think she would do things like that and she's really suffering with her identity after being accused of it. She kept asking me if she ever did anything to me and I felt super awkward and just said that we should all really talk. I don't think she's a horrible person. I just feel like we should have an honest talk so we can all move forward. But I just get this feeling like she will never admit to what she did to us, and that's really going to mess with my healing. Should I call her up and have a talk with her about how this happened to me too? How do I respond if she denies things? Is she wrong for doing what she did? Please help. I'm so lost. You can't force her to admit what she had done to you and your sister. It's possible your older sister was abused by someone else and she did the same to you too. That's not an uncommon thing to happen. It shouldn't have happened regardless. There's still a lot you need to work out in therapy. Therapy isn't 2 sessions and you're fixed, it's full-time work. It can take months if not years to learn how to accept and function. You're still trying to function. It looks like your younger sister is self-medicating. The one who inflicted the abuse keeps denying it. You have every right to lay out your truth, and if she keeps denying it, sever ties. It's too much energy to make someone take responsibility, especially when they're being enabled. Normally children that molest other children were victims themselves most of the time. Due to your mother deleting message, possibly your mother might know and might be covering up something more. You hear stories a lot about older siblings molesting the younger ones. Older sibling was repeating what an older relative did, and parents know but they hide it to avoid shame. This is a tough situation as your older sister might at one time have been a victim. Your older sister knows what she did and that it was wrong. She's asking if you remember anything to gauge her chances of getting away with it. I can almost see a 9-year-old getting away with this as experimenting, but 11? 15? You're right that you all need to talk. You need to meet with a therapist who can help you all make the best use of this information and facilitate healing, especially for your little sister. You need that impartial third, fifth party to keep the conversation healthy. Don't tell your older sister what you remember because it might cause her to abandon the discussion. She may legitimately not remember and repress those memories. She was a child then with you. I don't know what to tell you. Personally, I wouldn't lie to her. Your older sister may be part of the reason your younger sister has these issues. If older sis asked you directly, I would probably come back with something like you shouldn't ask questions you may not like the answer to, and if she kept going, tell the truth. Your younger sister is a victim here, so are you. But I don't know how you go about getting them all to heal. I wish the best for you. What your older sister did was wrong, but I have a very strong suspicion your older sister was molested by someone first and she is in denial. Quite often the abused can end up turning into abusers. She also may be mentally blocking it out. Please seek confidential therapy for yourself and advise your sister to do the same. Get therapy. Get your younger sister help. Completely cut your older sister off. Therapy is needed. Maybe help your younger sister with rehab and counseling. Get her help if you can. You are both victims, not your fault. She was likely molested herself and was acting it out on you.